Old school. You're listening to CRBJ, Classic R&B Jams Radio.
When the world gets loud, there's one place where the groove never stops. CRBJ Radio brings you classic R&B, timeless soul, and the jams that shape the soundtrack of your life. From sunup to sundown, we're spinning the hits that make you feel something. Every hour, every day. Whether you're at work, on the road, or just vibing at home, turn us on and let the soul take over. Listen live at crbjradiojams.com to the soulful sound all around town.
Good morning, good evening, good night, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your nighttime, right time DJ Music here with our, actually, not our first episode of the Music Chronicles, but we're going to kick off the new season here, ladies and gentlemen. As you always know, we always interview independent artists as well as mainstream artists. Today we're going to go off the little, normally we do some R&B or some smooth jazz, but I got a guy here in a group that I think you folks will be really interested in. If you heard my radio station before, and some of the times I'll say about to play some blue-eyed soul, so we're about to get into some blue-eyed soul. I'll let my man tell you exactly a little bit more about him. But again, folks, welcome on in. If you're listening live on Facebook or YouTube or any other places, you can hear a replay of this come Wednesdays at 5 p.m. on Classic R&B Jams Radio. But in the meantime and in between times, let's get straight to it. Let me take this off the screen and bring my man up here. We're going to be interviewing today, ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jancula and The Watchmen. Am I saying your name right there, Alex? Go ahead
Yes.
and unmute yourself there.
Yeah, you got. Can you hear me? Just want to make sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's Alex Jancula. Yep, you got it. As I stated before we were talking, it's a weird last name, and I get a lot of bad pronunciations of it. I think my favorite one that I've gotten was Dracula, yeah, which okay, sure, why not, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so we it's just a weird one, but no, thank you so much for having me on your show today, and this means a lot. It's awesome.
And thank you. Go right ahead.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I was listening to your station the other day, and you were kind enough to play one of our songs, "Lover of the Highway," and me and my wife were listening beforehand, and we heard that you played Raphael Sadiq, and then we kept listening further in, and it was like a whole just array of music. You don't just play one type; you kind of have all kinds of soul and R&B and stuff, and I love that about your station.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And this is one of the reasons why I want to have you here and do this interview with you, because your manager, Tangi, told me this is someone that I should be listening to, and I might want to incorporate during my Sunday shows. And I tell you what, when I played Love on the Highway, you definitely got a great response from it, Alex. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your band, your bandmates, and then we'll go on to our question and answer session from there.
So I'm Alex Jancula. I'm a guitar player and singer-songwriter from Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been playing music since I could walk. Got my first guitar when I was 2 years old, and it was off to the races from there. I've been fortunate enough to be on tour with bands. I've been fortunate enough to be on radio stations with other bands, and then during the whole COVID era, decided to start working on my own music, and I found some friends here in Charlotte that wanted to start up with me, and one of them is DJ Hendrix, and he's the bass player for this project, The Watchmen, and he is a phenomenal songwriter. He's a great person to bounce ideas off of, so I love writing with him. Actually, every single one of these songs that are on the new album that we just released is collaboration with me and DJ. You'll see he's listed as one of the songwriters as well. And then we've got Jim Toger. Jim Toger is our, the guy who does all our engineering stuff. He does like everything we need done on a control room, and he's also a phenomenal keyboard player. He's from New York, grew up, born and raised in New York, and played all throughout Manhattan, all throughout just everywhere up there. And the man's a powerhouse on the keys. I cannot say good enough things about Jim or DJ. And then we have a new addition. We kind of went through a weird transition of drummers for this album. So some of the tracks will feature a drummer, Jerry Morris. Jerry, unfortunately, we kind of had to move on from Jerry. We kind of, if life gets in the way of kind of things. So then we found a new drummer. His name's Norm Goebel, and Norm is just, as I say, powerhouse drummer. He's one of those drummers that can just play anything. He was actually before we started playing together, and he moved to North Carolina. He was a drummer in Orlando at Disney. So he's just an amazing drummer. So that's the project, and those are the guys that are in the band with me. And I can't say enough good things about these guys. They really have my back on a lot of things, and they see the vision, and they really help me move forward with what I'm trying to create. So that's the whole story about us. We love playing music, and we want to continue doing it, and we're just glad people are noticing and listening.
Right. Well, I can tell you definitely. I think that the collaboration you guys have put together here is quite interesting style of music, especially. And I hate to say this, but your last name. Let's get back to that a little bit, because we chopped it up a little behind the scenes about it. But your last name is not one of those names that you'll see everywhere, my man. So
no, it's definitely
there's
not.
no story behind that.
Really, there's like probably 30 of us in the United States, I think. We our last name, from my understanding of how it went, was we are from Czechoslovakia, which obviously is not a country anymore. It's the Czech Republic. And I don't know how true this story is. It's just stuff that I heard from when I was a kid. But my great grandfather didn't want to marry a woman, so he stole the family horse and found a way to get on a boat to come to America, and that's how we got here. It's kind of just one of those weird things. I don't know how true that is. It was just stuff that I've heard throughout throughout growing up and with the last name. And I mean, again, there's just, I think we've got people in California, we've had people in New Mexico, and then a lot of us are here in North Carolina as well. But there's just not much of us left, and I really don't know why. I just know that we originally were there, and now we're here, and now there's like not much.
Well, definitely, music comes in all shapes, forms, and fashions, my man. So again, if I saw you walking down the road, and would people say that the voice that I hear, do people say, I don't expect that voice from you?
No one expects me to have a voice at all. I think they just assume that I'm quiet, or I don't talk, which is not true. I'm very talkative. But when they hear me sing, they kind of look at me like, oh, I didn't expect that at all, which is I guess it's a good thing, because it leaves the element of surprise for people when they do see me play live, that they kind of can get behind, like, oh, he doesn't look talented, but yeah, now I gotta tell everybody.
And that's what I mean. I mean, looks can be deceiving. Never judge a book by its cover. And again, a lot of artists run into that idea. You get up on stage and you see, the guy with the beard. And again, much all respect when I say this, but the lumberjack look, the big guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I mean, I've got my hair up, but I'm wearing a hat, and I do have long hair as well, so it doesn't help the lumberjack look at all. And I think our bass player has a big beard too, so I think they look at us and they're expecting some Southern twang for sure.
Yeah,
and then we definitely don't deliver on it. We don't do a good job of delivering on the Southern twang. I think when me and DJ get around people who are from the South, we do pick up our twang a little bit, but not to the extent of what people expect out of us. And I think everyone's expecting us to just walk out and just sound as, for lack of a better word, redneck as possible. And it's just not. It
just doesn't happen that way, right?
No, sir. Yeah, we. Instead, you get this really weird, smooth voice out of me, and I don't quite know what what accent I have. People say it's a Charlotte accent, which I didn't know was a thing until recently. Which would make
Well,
sense. I'm from, from Charlotte. So.
yeah, and it definitely is. Of course, I've been in the Charlotte area a few times, but growing up in the South, like I spoke with your manager when I first heard your voice. That the Southern rock band style of some folks may not know who I'm talking about, but Marshall Tucker Band. Those bands from like Alabama. Of course, we all know. The tragic story behind, Freebird and all that. But,
Oh yeah.
when I first saw you guys on performing live, that's the sound that I was expecting from you. But you caught me off guard a little bit, I got to say, with the smoothness of your voice.
A big influence for us, for my songwriting, and that we use a lot of is Paul Simon, and then also Jackson Browne, which both of them had that same. Well, Simon not so much, but Jackson Browne kind of had that eagle-ish vibe to him.
Absolutely.
And Marshall Tucker has that kind of same, rooted from the Eagles vibe, and that's kind of where our sound has come from. And I guess we didn't add the twang. We maybe next album we'll just go full twang just for fun.
Well, speaking of that, folks, we've talked about his voice a little bit, so let's go ahead and listen to one of your tracks there, Alex. Walk, Don't Run. Tell us about that a little bit while I go dig it up there, sir.
So Walk Don't Run. If you listen to the album tells a story about a young man who falls in love with a woman and finds out that she's not extremely faithful, and things occur. And basically go listen to the album, see if you can decipher what we've said in the album. Walk Don't Run is kind of a cautionary tale of maybe take it a little slower than you should, and that's it's just it's a fun one. It's almost like telling you that if you do take it too fast and it falls apart, that there's a way to put it back together. And so that's yeah. And matter of fact, I wrote the riff for this song sitting there with my wife, and I don't know why the idea came up, but she said I should keep working on it, and I did, and I think this one came out really well, and it's my favorite track on the album for sure.
Righty then, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a listen to it. For some reason or the other, Alex, if I get the wrong song, I downloaded them prior to us coming onto the studio, and it didn't put the exact name of it. So if you hear the wrong song, let me know, and I'll quickly switch out of it. Okay, but I do believe I have it correct over here. Again, folks, Walk Don't Run by Alex. Say your name for me one more time so I can make sure I can get it right. I'll mess up a name or two.
That's okay. It's Alex Jancula and The Watchmen.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Walk Don't Run here on the Music Chronicles with your nighttime or right time DJ Music.
All these disciples are running tough decisions you learn if you listen, and life will soon be free. Whoa, don't run. Whoa, don't run. Burning through dances, just searching for answers and wasting time on your knees. You pray to the Father, the Son, or the Daughter, and life remains a mystery. Oh, but you become shallow hearts, lonely girl. But when the night is gone, you gotta pick up the pieces and throw them together into one. Don't run. Whoa, don't run. You gotta pick up the pieces and throw them together into one. Don't run. Whoa, don't run.
Alrighty there, ladies and gentlemen. Brand new music. Well, brand new music to us. Alex Jancula and the Watchmen. Walk, don't run. Let me put my man back on the screen right quick. Like, hold on. So tell us about the creative process there, Alex. Tell us about what you do and how you do and why you do when you create music like this, sir. You and your
So
band,
so
of course.
so that one, I needed I needed some more stuff for for the album, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting there with a bass guitar in my hand, and I play bass as well. And I just that walk that you hear, the da na 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 na, that part, I started playing that on the bass, and I was like, that's a really cool line. And I started forming the song from there. And I started, and like I said, I was sitting with my wife, and I said, what do you think about this? And she said, I think that's really good. And so I took it to the guys, and I had some lyrics lined up, and they weren't quite fitting. And so DJ and Jim and even Norm had some stuff they threw in. Um, and we just kind of came up with the song almost on the fly in our studio that we play in, that we practice in. And that was one of the really cool experiences as a band, where most of the time I bring the song to DJ and I say, hey, what do you think? And then he'll bring one to me, and he'll say, what do you think? And we'll work on it together. But this was like everyone got involved. And it was a really fun experience for sure. And Norm had the really groove fill stuff that he was doing on the kick and the hi-hat together. Like if you listen to how the song opens up with the almost clattering on the hi-hat,
Mm-hmm.
it was just a lot of fun. So we knew we wanted the song to go in a direction of a cautionary tale, kind of like we were saying, because it fit the narrative of the album. Where and that's why it is the second. The first song is called "Covered in Rain," and basically he's madly in love with this girl. And the second song is "Walk Don't Run," saying, "Take it easy, slow it down. Things can get really messed up." And then there's giving it the option of being able to fix it, obviously. And then if you keep going, you listen. The next song is "Lightning in a Bottle," where things are just extremely sad and depressing, and then it keeps going from there. It just gets more sad and depressing, right? Because why not? I promise we're not a depressed group. We're actually very happy. But there's some very sad songs on this album. So for some reason, that's we get really into that kind of Jason Isbell kind of vibe, where it gets sad, but it's also uplifting. It's kind of a fun thing to try to relay that message in your music, to be a little happy, but also incredibly depressed at the same time.
So it seems to me from Alex, from the songs that I've listened to on this upcoming release here, it's all about the highs and lows of a relationship. Agreed?
Yeah, it's the highs and lows of a relationship, and I've been married for 10 years, so it's weird. that I would do that. Everything's fine with me and her. We love each other very
That's
much.
what I was going to ask you.
I love my wife so much. She is the best thing, the best decision I ever made, and I'm glad she decided to put up with me. But I have this weird obsession with just depressing stuff, and so in reality, in the I have a depression, not depression, I obsession with scary movies and horror films and stuff like that. And so in reality, the story behind the relationship is she actually turns out to be a witch. And if you go listen to the title track, which is "They Belong to the Forest," it tells the story of the witch. And it's just a story song. It's actually fully narrated by me on, and there's just a cool riff and a really good drum beat behind it. And then you find out, oh, she's actually terrible. And she's a witch. And then you move on, and he's trying to say like, oh well, hang on, maybe I could fix it, and that's where you get into "Lover the Highway." Turns out no, he can't fix it. When you get to a song called "The Garden," she's been actually cheating on him. And it's after all the terrible stuff she's done beforehand, for some reason that's the thing that draws the line. And then there's a whole thing where he may or may not decide to act on what happened, and then he's all depressed that he might have done something terrible, and then ends up in his own world of torment. So I don't know why I write these things. I guess
But I understand. I understand, because the same with me. I like my shows that I do. I like them to tell a story, and it seems to me that with this album, you're definitely telling the story. Now, as you said earlier, it's a cautionary tale. So,
right, and so it's kind of be wary, beware. And it's fun because like every song has a different, like it's us. It still embodies us as what we sing and how we sound and how we play, but like everything's a different genre. Not, I mean, to an extent. So like the first song is "Covered in Rain." That's a very funk inspired song, whereas "Walk Don't Run" is a little more of like an 80s Baba O'Reilly inspired thing. You can hear it in what Jim's playing on the keys is what we were trying. Originally I think we started out trying to sound like or sounding like Kings of Leon, but then we ended up moving on from that and just going like, let's go full 80s with this, and we did. I'm glad we did. But it's
right.
So like we experimented with every kind of genre we could, even though we're in this weird like blues rock, southern rock kind of category. We're like, well, we could do something different with this. Even when you get to the song, the second to last song on the album is "Drag Me Under," and that's like full on Zeppelin, almost 70s metal style stuff. And then "Better Off Dead" is the last song on the album, or the second to last song on the album. Sorry, I'm getting my tracks mixed up, and that's very country twang. So we did do country twang, which is, but it's a song. It's "Better Off Dead."
Yeah. Well, it seems to me, Alex, at one point in time, you guys did step out of your comfort zone because you covered a track, "No Diggity," no doubt.
Yep. Blackstreet. Yeah. So that was just something. I love the song. I've always thought it was cool, and I heard I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chet Faker, but he's
yes.
phenomenal musician. I think he's out of the UK. He did his version, and I wanted to learn how to play his version, so I learned how to play his version, and I'm like, this would be a really cool blues cover. And so I started doing it actually as a solo act before I even put the band together. And then when we all got together, obviously we need music because we didn't have original material fully functioning yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we started playing some covers out and going and doing that kind of thing. And this song kind of just stuck. And it's like something we always would do. And we love the song. We have a lot of fun doing it. I mean, even if we're playing originals that night, we'll probably still break out "No Diggity" just because it's a fun one. And not to mention, I'm like the last guy that anyone would expect to cover "No Diggity."
Yeah.
So it's like, it kind of hit him with a little bit of like, hey, he does have some soul.
Listen, folks, Alex, you're invited to the barbecue. Okay, I don't give out too many of them passes, but after listen to this one, you definitely can come to the barbecue with this
all right.
one. All right.
Let me know where and when, man. I'll bring some ribs or some steak at least.
Being from Charlotte, I already know what the barbecue's like down there. So I know you coming
Oh
with
yeah.
with the goodness.
Oh
So let's
yeah.
take a listen to No Diggity there, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Alex, if you hear it and if it's not the correct song because it didn't label it when I uploaded them to StreamYard, but let me know if I'm playing the right song, okay? So let's
Okay.
let's get to it. No Diggity, no doubt. Cover song.
Shorty get down, good lord. Baby got 'em open all over town. Strictly business, don't play around. Cover much ground, getting paid by the pound. Getting paid is a forte, each and every day to play away. I can't get her out of my mind. I think about that girl all the time. East side to the west side, pushing fat rides, it's no surprise. She got tricks instead, stacking up cash, fast when it comes to the gas. By no means average, as long as she's got to have it. Baby, you're a perfect 10. Say, girl, I like the way you work it. No diggity, come on back it up, girl. I like the way you work it. No diggity, come on back it up. I like the way you work it. No diggity, I'm gonna bag it up, girl. I like the way you work it. She's got class and style, street knowledge by the mile. Baby never acts wild, very low key on the profile. Catching feelings, you should know. Let me tell you how it goes. Curves the word, spins the verb. Love is it curves, so think what you heard. Eyo, 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 eyo. Damn, that girl look good. Eyo, eyo, eyo. Play on, play on. Eyo, eyo, eyo. She's got class and style. Eyo, eyo. No diggity, no doubt, y'all.
Alrighty there, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Jancula and the Watchmen. No diggity. Well, I tell you what, you really caught me off guard with that one, my man. I was as I was going through your catalog on YouTube, folks. Make sure you get on over and like, share, and subscribe to the Alex and then the Watchmen's YouTube channel over there, and we'll get to all that a little bit later on. But that was one of the songs as I was scanning through, and I looked at it and I said, "No diggity." No,
Yeah,
That verse,
that was.
yeah, listen, man, that's one of those songs that that if you can play it right, everybody will enjoy. So again, come on to the barbecue with that one. We'll let you in.
All
We'll
right.
let you in with that one.
It was funny is that I didn't realize that it was the acoustic thing we did at Homebrew in Monroe, North Carolina. Our friends Greg and Jen own the place, and we play there. We have kind of a standing gig there. We play there once every couple of months. And during Christmas, we had decided that we were going to do a whole acoustic act, and that was what that was from. I didn't realize that was the one you were going to play.
Mhm.
That's awesome. I don't think I've heard that one all the way through. I was like, oh, that actually sounds pretty good,
It does,
So,
doesn't it?
so I was
I
I,
like
I
it
got
when
I caught myself bopping a little bit.
listen. I like it when I catch them off guard like that, folks.
Yeah, I
But
was like,
right quick,
oh,
like, Alex, before I get to my next question, I want to say hello to the folks that's tuning in, whether you're down in the listening lounge. Again, we'll have a replay of this on Wednesday, next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to, or of course, you can come back over to YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you get this music out there, folks, because that's what it's all about, sharing and caring and making sure that music is out there. Because I only bring on the good stuff. I don't bring just anybody over here. All right. So
I'm, I'm,
Alex is
I'm
go right
glad you
ahead, sir.
think I'm glad you think we're the good stuff, man. That means a lot to
Yes,
me.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But speaking of the good stuff, Alex, there's a bit of controversy going on last couple of days, especially with the emergence of AI over, regular artists. Your thoughts, sir?
My thoughts on AI. I have friends that I know use it. I know that. I have friends that reach out to me and say, "Oh man, you really got to try this for writing." I Look, a tool is a tool, right?
Yes.
And things are ever evolving, and you're not going to stop it. But what I'm afraid of is I grew up playing music. I was 2.5. You can go on my website. You can see a picture of me with my first guitar. I was 2.5 years old, and I wanted to be just like my dad because my dad played guitar, and it inspired me to do these things. And throughout me learning and having this experience of playing music and learning how to play the guitar and learning how to sing and all these things, I gained friends. I gained confidence. I gained self-esteem, work ethic. I had to deal with opposing opinions because I had to deal with the musicians I was playing with that might have a different opinion than me. I
Hmm.
mean, basically, I gained a personality from learning how to play the guitar and learning how to sing and learning how to work with a group and everything like that. And if you were going to fall back to listening to AI music, it's not going to be the same because you're not going to hear that person's personality in that music. You're going to hear what a digital rendering of what a million people's personalities were, which is just going to be kind of bland.
Yeah,
There is more to music than just rhythm and beat. There's soul, and that's the thing that shines through at the end of the day. I think I actually said that the other day to on my Facebook page was that your soul is what shines through, and robots don't. I mean, not to sound like corny, but robots don't have souls, like that
no,
kind of
no,
thing.
no, you're absolutely right. Right, you're absolutely right, and that's why I
um,
asked the question because there's no replacing a live band, is it?
no, no, sir, not at all. I mean, I've even been to EDM stuff before where it's just a techno and they're playing it on it seems like they're playing it on an iPad and that's it. And I'm like,
Mm,
man, there is nothing going on here. I've seen DJs that do some cool stuff, but that's the DJs actually they're spinning. They're doing a lot of
right.
really hard work back there. But like, and that's not what I'm knocking. I'm knocking when it's just like, oh, check out what I did on Ableton and put it, now I'm playing it on a PA. It's like, man, that's nothing. Like,
Right,
and
right,
so
right.
I feel the same way about AI. If you're just gonna, I mean, not to mention like I can't write 500 songs a day. You know,
Okay, and isn't that a bit of a drawback though? That's the point. That it seems to me what I point that out too. Of course, yeah, you can go create a AI song, and you might catch lightning in a bottle. That's one of your songs over there. You might catch
you
lightning in a
might.
bottle, but most of the time, as you can see from some of the folks down the listing lounge, they can automatically tell the difference between AI generated music and an artist. Like with you, you have a certain sound to you that I can almost pick up the region to what part of the world that you come from. But AI artists, you can't do that. So like you said, there's no heart and there's no soul in that music. Am I too far off by saying that?
No, no, you're 100% right. I mean, I've listened to some of the AI music that's out there just because people have, said it to me and check this out. I think it's cool. I don't think it's that cool, but it's like I can. Well, first of all, as someone who's like I'm a gear nerd. I'm a recording nerd, and I share that with a lot of friends as well. And
Mhm.
I can tell when things are over processed. And a lot of the AI music has this. There's a grit in the high end of the guitar, and there's a grit in the high end of the vocals that you can hear it in the AI. And all it is a polish that like you can do the same thing with Pro Tools. You can go in there and actually edit the high end to have this kind of polished sound, but it creates this grit. It's just over processing, and so a
It's
lot of that AI music has that, and that's why you can tell like that's fake.
it's right. It's kind of stiff, isn't it, Alex? It's kind of like you can feel the robotic motion in the music. It's like
Yeah, oh yeah,
it's no
for sure.
wavelength in it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, and that's the where it really shines is on guitar because you can tell that
Hmm.
it doesn't understand how again I'm a gear nerd, so how overdrive is actually supposed to act on a guitar. Instead, what it does is it tries to make a clean channel sound distorted, which
Right.
you get clipping from, and that's what that high end pitch is that's clipping, and it's ugly. It's not a good sound whatsoever. I mean it's cool to go in there and create something, but if you're going to use that in your music, then I have no respect for it. It's not writing.
I
So
get exactly what you're saying because I mean, like you say, you playing the guitar and I'm sure you've played that too now to where it's almost it's second nature to you, second part of you. But you just didn't wake up yesterday and say, hey, I'm gonna start playing guitar. So again, going back to the AI versus human riff again, what do you think as far as AI is concerned about them being on the music charts?
I think that's a little unfair. I mean, honestly, it's just like if you take a painting and you made that painting in AI and you print it out and you try to sell that to somebody as a $1,000 piece of art. I think that's not your work. You shouldn't be using it. I know a lot of these platforms are trying to push it as like almost as if it's a video game thing where you can share with friends and collaborate with friends on your AI music. And even in that sense, I feel like you're getting robbed as a patron of those stores because you're you're not really making any friends at that. You're just kind of going and finding people online who also happen to like using the same AI platform that you are. But there's something about being creative together as a group of people, and it's with anybody. It doesn't have to be the band that I play with. I've played with thousands of people, and you almost gain a sense of respect for the other person that you're playing with, and a sense of pride that you built that together. And a camaraderie. It's a huge accomplishment to even write one song with somebody. And I think to say that AI is creating real music is just a fallacy that people are reading into and really shouldn't. If you want to write music, you'll go learn how to play the instrument. I would. You don't even have to learn how to read music. You can write music without knowing how to read music. Just go and
Right.
have fun with it. Get yourself a guitar, get yourself a keyboard, start playing, have a great time with it because there's
Mhm.
nothing more fun.
Right. No, no, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Let's listen to another one of your tracks there, sir. Lightning in a Bottle. Tell us about that a little bit.
Back to the narrative of the album. This is things are just going rough with the couple, man. They're together, but he's never home. This is actually a story. This is a story about me. Not that we had rough patches, but as a musician, and then I do currently hold a day job, and I work delivering blood for the American Red Cross,
Wow. Respect.
and because of that, I'm gone a lot. If I'm not doing that, I'm going and um, playing music, and so I never get to see my wife for as long as I want to. So this song was kind of started as an apology to her,
Mhm.
um, in reality, and then trying to like rationalize what I'm actually doing with my life and why I'm not seeing her. And I think it came out as best as it could, and I think because of the sad nature of it, I feel like the song's still incomplete, but you can only do so much with it before you gotta let it go, right?
Right.
So
Right. Yeah.
yeah. But
Absolutely. Well, let's take a listen to it there, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you're listening to the Music Chronicles. We do this just about every other week. Now we're going to have a different guest on maybe on Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, and possibly Saturdays. So, Alex, of course, when you get some new music or anytime you just want to drop on in and say, hey, I feel like talking on the radio and telling you about my new music, please make sure to come on back. But in the meantime, let's check out Lightning in a Bottle. As I said, Alex, if it's the wrong song when I play it, please let me know. That way I can go switch out right quick.
Yes, sir. Oh, this is No Diggity.
Oh, wrong one. Let's see. Yeah, we just listened to that one. I think this was it. Yes.
Yep, this is it. This is it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know you hate seeing tail lights, but when I pull out of the drive, I'm off conquering the late night bars and 20-hour ride. I'm off to places that don't know my name. Nobody ever knows my fate. I can't come back to you with empty hands. Couldn't handle that disgrace. So do you wanna know where I've gone? I'm catching lightning in a bottle, screaming at the road, growing lines on my face. It's failure and option, they are my own mind. Damn, I hate this place. Damn, I hate this place. That things got out of hand. I got excited by the dollar sign. I guess I'm just a greedy man. I just want out of this rat race, and it'd be better if I do. All the riches in the world outside could never replace you. So do you wanna know where I've gone? I'm catching lightning in a bottle, screaming at the road, growing lines on my face. It's failure and option, they are my own mind. Damn, I hate this place. Got lightning in a bottle, screaming at the road, growing lines on my face. It's failure and option, they are my own mind. Damn, I hate this place. Damn, I hate this place. Damn, I hate this place. Damn, I hate this place.
And yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, that's called catching lightning in a bottle right there. Wait a minute. You wanted to play double time there for Alex. Man,
Well,
listen,
I mean,
we've listened to three of you, so for almost three of your songs now, but each one of them, your voice is a little different because when you opened up, I heard a little Springsteen, and then you switched over a little to what's the name of the group out of Athens?
there's
You
yeah.
know,
What's their name?
REM. That's who I'm
Oh,
talking about.
okay, yeah. That one because I have this weird thing where I can kind of change the cadence of my voice
Mm,
to fit the song, and I think it comes from being a guitar player first because I play guitar first, and so every time we write a song, it's like, well, what do I want to sound like, and I can kind of do I can kind of do it, and then I can there's some times where I completely fail. I can't do Stevie Ray. I just can't. I've tried.
mm.
I wish I could because he's an icon. I mean, I love
Yes,
Stevie Ray
indeed.
Vaughan.
Right.
But like I can do Stapleton really well. And actually I get Stapleton requests all the time. Yeah, so much so that intentionally I go and find like the his like B-sides, almost not B-sides, but stuff that people wouldn't know of him.
Wouldn't you know?
So
Right, right.
and
Gotcha.
and that way we could play that, and I could be like, I totally just played some Stapleton for you, you know.
Right.
And then they're like, no, we want to hear Tennessee Whiskey, and it's like, all right, fine. So,
Yeah.
but
But
so
and towards the end of that, I heard a little bit of course, we all know from South Carolina, we're talking about Hootie and the Blowfish. So, being from the Carolinas, what's the music scene like for you in that area?
it's weird actually. So you have so many. It's a vast like plethora of any kind of music, from bluegrass to death metal. I mean, it's really just everything, which is really it's a cool scene because it allows us to be a bit of chameleonish. We can blend to whatever we want to blend to, and people will still listen. Um, and I have a song called Chameleon on my first album that I released as a solo artist before it was The Watchmen, called The Chameleon. Um, Totally different vibe on that song about than what I'm talking about now. So anybody who's listening who's heard that song, I'm not saying we're chameleons. I apologize. But it's like a melting pot of musicians, and it's funny because like you'll just go out and just run into somebody and they'll be playing something totally different than the last time you saw them
Right.
because they just wanted to. So I've got friends that are over here doing a Rage Against the Machine tribute band, and then the next day I see they're playing bluegrass. um, just it's pretty cool. It's an interesting scene. Um, and Charlotte's just weird in general because you never know what's gonna hit.
Right.
You never know that this is going to be the thing that people get super into, which is when I say bluegrass, it's kind of funny because that seems to be a huge thing right now in Charlotte. Whereas like 2 years ago, everyone was into like Periphery and Pliny and Animals as Leaders, like all the prog metal stuff was what people were super into. As a matter of fact, there's a prog metal thing going on tonight at the Visual Light I'm going to. Our drummer Norm is subbing in and playing a couple songs with the band, and where I'm going to go check that out and hang out with him tonight at the Visual Light in Charlotte. So if you're in Charlotte and you want to go see some prog metal, go to the Visual Light.
So as I was looking at something, Alex, and with this last song that we played, would it be one of those songs that you would describe as grit and polish? And what do you mean by that?
So that when I say grip and so you mean like do I describe it as like that's we well polished it and
Yeah, yeah,
overproduced?
yeah, yeah.
That one I I think I really made our engineer mad on that one.
Hmm.
Uh because I did probably 17, maybe 18 different takes on the vocal that were supposed to be the final vocal. And so in doing that, I think that one kind of got a little away from us on like production. And so we got a little carried away and just had
Hmm.
more and more stuff to add. So, at first it was the vocals not what I want, so I'm going to redo that. And then we're adding an organ solo, which I thought was kind of cool. Not many people do that in that genre of country music.
Mm.
And Jim plays the heck out of the organ on that one. So and then we had at the end we're like, oh, we gotta do something different because the chorus is just too repetitive, and that's probably not my most favorite song on the album. As I said before, it was the one that I felt was most incomplete, and it's because
Mm.
it was originally started as an apology to my wife for never being home, and I couldn't put it in words how sorry I was, basically. Because I mean there was probably a year and a half there where I just wasn't here, and
Right.
I feel terrible about it. And yeah, that's the song, and I just couldn't get the words out to say I'm sorry the right way.
Right.
So
So, Alex, as a musician, of course, the hours that you spend away from home, I'm sure there's practice hours. How do you balance the two, my man, between family life and what you do in the music world?
yeah, you got to learn how to say no. I mean, that's the real short and sweet of it. You've got to learn what's worth your time and what's not worth your time.
Mm.
So um, that's really what it comes down to, because there's nothing more demoralizing than being like, oh, I'm not going to be there tonight because I have a gig, and then you go out to the gig and it's like, oh, you're playing in a barn to like 7 different people and they hired you for this private party. And we've played private parties that are amazing. Don't get me wrong. Some of the
I
private parties we
understand.
play,
Right.
but like kind of that thing where you've got to learn what's worth my time, what's not worth my time, and what am I
Right.
really worth as a musician, and then also making time for them as a sorry, I'm on my iPad and things
Oh,
keep
no
popping up. I'm
worries.
trying to making time for them. It's hard. It's really hard because you got to really just plan and schedule and make sure you're there. And I'll never deny that I'm bad at it.
Mm.
Um, and she's such a good woman for putting up with me. I mean, she really is. Uh, I can't believe we've been married for 10 years. This past October we made 10 years, and I don't know
Congratulations.
I don't know how she did it. So
Hey.
I know how I did it. I don't know how she did it.
Right. So mine is your wife being one of the idols. Who are some of the other folks that you look up to? And of course, in the music business, even in growing up, some of those folks that you fashion your music towards, or kind of lean on to say, or inspired you to do such.
Um, I grew up with musicians in my family. So my dad played guitar, my brother played guitar, and my brother played drums. And for the first probably 15 years of me playing, from again the age of 2 all the way in, it was I want to learn how to play like they can play. I want to do what
Yeah.
they can do. And then I got lucky to be in like Boy Scouts and church with people who were also learning how to play instruments, and so I just wanted to be as good as the next guy. I wanted to be as
Right.
good as that person. So I would try to learn anything I could from people. It just any time that they had something, I'm like, I had a guitar. I'm like, I want to see what you can do. I want to know how you did it. And I never actually took lessons. I just went and watched what
Wow.
people were doing and learned from that.
So no
And
no formal training at all, other than
I
watching it and what your brothers and
yeah,
families are doing.
so what was funny is my older brother Josh broke his arm when I was probably 12 or 13, and I had been sorry, my
Oh, no worries, no worries. We're
uh
good.
so he had broke his arm when I was about 12 or 13, and he was taking guitar lessons at the time at Streetwise Guitars in Indian Trail, North Carolina, which is where I'm at. And I decided, or my mom asked me, do you want to take over his lessons? And so I went in, and it was really funny because I'm just sitting there like some punk kid that doesn't know anything. And the guy's like, so you already know how to do all this? I was like, well, yeah, I've been learning what he's got, and then
Right.
I've got this friend over here that's playing, and I learned from him. And so me and the guitar teacher just jammed for the time that I was there. I don't think I learned, like, he didn't have a specific lesson for me. It was just like, let's just
Right.
jam, man. Like, let's have some fun.
So you
And
were
so that
just
that
doing
was
jam sessions.
yeah. My brother's guitar lessons that he was supposed to take turned out being jam sessions for me. Um, and it was a lot of fun. And so I just wanted to play with other people. That was my whole thing. And so when I write a song, it's not for the betterment of like I want people out there to listen to it. It's for some reason it's always I want the people who are close to me when I'm doing this to like it.
Mm.
Because for some reason, especially my wife's one of them, my dad's one of them, my Jim's one of them, DJ's one of them. The band, everyone in the band are the people that I'm like, I want you to like this song. And I've got a couple of really good friends I send stuff to, and for some reason I have this feeling if they like it, everyone will like it. You know,
Right.
especially my wife Annalise, she has impeccable taste in music. So when she tells me it's bad, it's generally bad.
Right.
I believe her. So I'm lucky to have someone who can tell me I'm wrong.
What you say? Don't put that one out, honey. Not that one.
There's been quite a few, and then she's got this way of saying things that really just cut it down, right? And I love it and I think she thinks that I get upset, but I'm like, I don't get upset. I actually really appreciate the input. But she'll be like, is that the best vocal that you could do for that?
In a nice way, right?
I think that's the nice way to put it, and I love it. I love how just like kind of sarcastic, but in your face it is.
Right.
Great.
It's like I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So she's awesome.
If the next song that we play, we're about to close out here. So I got two more songs that I want to run across you. Covered by Rain. Is that the next one we're going to listen?
Covered in Rain.
Covered in Rain. Covered in Rain. What if you had to ask your wife about that song, what would she say about it?
You know what? That is so the song has an underlining meaning, what it's talking about. I would encourage everyone to listen to the song and the lyrics and see if they can figure it out for themselves. I don't say anything explicit in the song, but I'm going to say Annalise would have probably no comment on the song because of the nature, because of what it's about.
Okay.
And ladies, if your guy doesn't do the thing in the song, then I feel bad for you. So
listen, gotta have something. This is instruction time. You gotta have something to groove to, fellas.
Yeah, this is the funk song, man. We intentionally made it the funk song. You know, a little bit groovy, a little bit. You know, I hope everyone enjoys it, and I'm trying not to say some stuff on air that I shouldn't say, because then you asking me that question, I'm like, well, I shouldn't say these words. But this one, it gets a little dirty, I hope y'all. It was. How can you be dirty without being blatant? And hey,
right
there it is. You know. So
they take it back to the 70s and the 80s, right? How can you be?
I went so Earth, Wind, and Fire on it. You wouldn't even know. I hope y'all enjoy it. Really do.
All right, let's take a listen to it. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Introduce it to us, Alex, if you don't mind.
This is Covered in Rain by Alex Jancula and the Watchmen.
Smell of you by the candles last flicker close the night. I could tell by the glimmer in your eyes I did everything right. But we both know we need more than a minute, so let's take our time. Lay here all day, pleasure and pain, it'll be alright. Tighten up around my ears, you know I got no place to go. The smell of sweet up in the air, hanging on your clothes. Take the time and set the mood. You know it's been too long. Light some candles, set the groove, play your favorite song. I love where you go, and I love how you sing. Face down and I'm trying not to breathe. By the light of the night, I give you everything. Trade my soul for a big diamond ring, and look at it now, yeah. We're covered in rain, covered in rain.
Covered in rain there, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't get the message, you're slow. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, I mean it's obvious, man. I think every one of the Watchmen's wives blushes every time we play that song.
Listen. When it first started playing, you remember the movie Dust Before Dawn?
Yes. Dust Till Dawn.
That would be of course, if I was on radio, that would have been the next song I would have played right after that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And that's like I said, man, that one was just written out of pure passion, and that's why it opens the album. That it's again back to the story. It's they're madly in love, and this is how in love they are. So yeah, I try not to say anything dirty on air for you. But,
right. Imagination one rock, kicking in a few doors. I'm coming in with a rose in my mouth.
I think I said enough dirty in the song.
I think you did a pretty good job, man, of telling us what we wanted to hear, but not telling us. So
exactly.
Good job on that one. You left it up to the imagination.
There's nothing more awkward than having to tell your parents what that song's about.
Yeah.
And fortunately, mine are pretty understanding people, and so they didn't give me too much grief. I think my dad giggled. And that was the funny part, was like a 13-year-old boy giggling. And so anyway, but yeah, man, I've had a lot of fun today.
Yeah,
This has been awesome.
that was a good song. I'll definitely feature that on this Sunday show there, because I wish I would have had it early. I would have gave it a double shot on this weekend. We
Oh
got one
man,
more
thank you,
song
man.
to cover, but before we get to the last song of the night, there, Alex, some folks that's coming up, that's going to be coming up behind you, that's going to come into the business, that want to know all the ins and outs and the highs and the lows. What would be something that you would tell someone that's just coming into the business?
Be yourself. Just be yourself. Right for you. Don't try to do what everyone else is doing. It doesn't work that way. Just because it worked for somebody else doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. Just because it didn't work for somebody else doesn't mean it won't work for you.
Mm,
It's just all about being who you are and represent yourself in the way that you feel you should. So and be good to others. The nicer you are to everybody, the nicer they're gonna be to you. That's just, I mean, common rules to live by. And that's really all I can tell anybody is just live by the basics. Live by
mm,
being a good person and just try to write songs for yourself. So
mm.
the
And
the rest will happen.
before we play your last track, tell all the people where they can find your music. If you have a concert, a live show, or something that you want to tell the folks in the Greensboro and Rock Hill area. I know it's kind of cold out there, but a good show. It's hard to find a good live show these days, folks. So especially when these independent artists get out there and they're doing their thing, it's not bad to go out there. You'll be pleasantly surprised about what you find out there in the streets these days. So tell all the folks where they can find your music, Alex, and we'll play the last track here tonight.
So our music is all available on Spotify, Instagram, YouTube Music, Instagram Music thing, YouTube Music, Apple Music, like all the platforms. You can find our music there. We ask that you go to our YouTube channel and support that and follow and subscribe and all that stuff on there. We are doing a giveaway right now on that channel. So if you want to win some free stuff, please go to that channel and follow the prompts that are on that channel for the giveaway. And actually Music Go Round and Rock Hill joined us on that giveaway. So there's more stuff than what we had originally. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where you can find us. Is Alex Jancula and the Watchmen. The next thing we've got, we're playing, it's February 21st, I think. I'm not looking at my calendar.
Okay.
February, I believe it's February 21st, supposed to be at Heist Brewing in Charlotte. That's the one over at Camp North End. And that's going to be a feature show with a bunch of different artists, and we'll be part of that. So come on
Great.
out to that. We'll be posting information about that on our Instagram and Facebook and even on YouTube. That's a feature thing. So we'll even be listing what the other artists are doing as well. So if you want to
Great.
see some really good local musicians in Charlotte, that'd be the place to be that night. Just again, go to our Facebook page and we'll have that up with all the details as soon as we get the flyer from the promoters.
Great.
But yeah.
One last question there, Alex. How important is social media to you as a band and a group?
So social media is way more important than I ever wanted it to be.
Mm,
Because I don't like social media. I'm not a fan of it.
mm,
I get very ADD with my social media skills, and so I have a hard time focusing on it. But it's important, so I have to do it.
right.
And everyone needs to be on their social media point as much as they can. I downloaded a application that actually helps me schedule out when I'm going to post things. If you have that same issue that I have where you have a hard time focusing on something, I recommend you find an app that can do that for you because it's a lot easier when it's streamlined and there's just so many rabbit holes you can dive down with it. Focusing on one is just not an option. You have to do all of them. So yeah, that's how important it is. And I'll be the first to tell you I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, I tell you what, you're right, Alex. It is time consuming. It does eat up your time, and these days and time, it's definitely a necessary evil. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
why I always like, especially for you guys, it's an easy way to get in touch with you. And a lot of people overlook YouTube, but I think right now YouTube is kind of like the best thing since sliced bread when it comes to being a musician, because where else can you get that many people to come look at your music in an instant?
Oh, I love YouTube. YouTube is
Yeah,
so if you message me on YouTube, I'm so much more excited to respond to you, and I'll respond to anybody on any platform. I get notified about it no matter what. But when I see it pop up that it came from YouTube, I'm like, oh, this person's awesome. That's my
yeah.
person right there.
It's a
Let me
little
go
different.
talk to this.
Right.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
little
kind of like,
different.
hey,
Yeah,
you know they're looking at your content. They're not just looking at like what your giveaway, or they're not just looking at the post that you made the other day. They're coming in, they're looking at your content. So you're like, oh, this person likes music. Let me go talk to
right.
them. Um,
Absolutely.
and so yeah, if you're a person who loves music, YouTube is like booming. I find all of my new music from YouTube. I'm not a big fan of the Spotify thing because Spotify doesn't quite get it right. YouTube's kind of got it fine tuned to where like if I like this band, it knows I'm gonna like this band.
Right.
And that is so yeah, definitely YouTube's awesome. But anyway, sorry to talk your ear off, man. I know
Well,
we're
no,
going
no, no,
long.
no worries, no worries. I'm enjoying the conversation. I wish I had more time to spend with you, Alice, because we could chop it up. You got a whole lot more music over there, but
Oh yeah.
we got. I try and keep this to an hour, hour and a half, sometime, because I know you guys are out there busy. And speaking of that one track, that Tangi sent it to me, and as soon as she said, "Would you be interested in interviewing this guy?" I said, "How soon? How soon
Oh
can I get him
wow.
on?" Love or the
Okay.
Highway. So tell us about that a little bit.
Man, so Love of the Highway, that one that was inspired by a Jackson Brown tune. If you guys are fans of
Yes.
Jackson Brown, you'll know the
Yeah, I
song
definitely am.
Doctor My Eyes is the song that
Yes.
was inspired by
Yeah.
that song. Um, I started that was another one. I started playing it on the bass line, and you'll hear the bass line opens the song, and I was like, "What's this song about?" And it just it kind of spoke to me. It says, "Is it love or is it the highway? Are you really the one, or am I leaving?" That kind of thing. It's not a personal story. It
Mm,
actually, like at the time, I had a buddy that was going through a divorce, and these were kind of like me and him go play disc golf together and stuff like that. And I was talking to him about his experience, and this is kind of what I drew from the conversation with him about going through that.
mm.
So that's why this song's yeah, it's another sad one because that's apparently who I am, is sad and depressing. but
No.
but yeah, I love this song, man, and this is another one where I probably annoyed the heck out of Jim, our keyboard player, because he's also again he's our engineer as well, the guy who helps us do all of our engineering for recording. And I probably did 150 different takes on the guitar solo, trying to find the right tone and the right one. And I probably swapped out amplifiers. I was switching out guitars like it was candy. I think I think he lost hair over this one, and it was just that's an inside joke. He's already missing hair, and he's gonna kill me when he hears that. But
I didn't see that. It wasn't on me, Jim. Wasn't me.
uh,
Wasn't me.
I know he's going yeah, but I think I drove him crazy with this one. I think I drive all the guys crazy with all the songs when we go into a studio, especially because I'm like, oh, we're gonna change this at the last second, and they're like, excuse me. But this is one of the ones where I can see everyone just kind of their gears getting like, come on, man, I'm like just get
Hey,
it right. So yeah, this is one of my favorite songs on the album, and I encourage you to listen to the harmonies because this is the one song where it's me, DJ, Jim, all three on harmony. And I mean, I'm even hitting like the highest note that my voice will allow me to hit on it. So I love this song.
all
Um,
right.
but yeah, thank you very
And
much.
it's been my pleasure. I tell you what, like I said, anytime you want to come back and chop it up with me, Alex, and bring some band, if you want to, you can. Of course, you can bring your band members along with you. Love to chop it up with them as well. But ladies and gentlemen, it's almost time for us to get out of here. It's going to close up another edition of the Music Chronicles. Tune in next. I think tomorrow we'll do another show with one of your stablemates over there with Tangi. I do believe we're doing. I can't think of his name right now. Keith Eatman. So look out for that tomorrow there, ladies and gentlemen. And again, Alex, thank you so very much for spending the time with me. Great music, my man. You know, I like playing an eclectic blend of music, so I'm definitely going to put you in rotation. As you saw down there in the lounge, the folks really enjoyed your music. And from what I got from the song that we're about to feature here in just a minute, you know, definitely, I think you guys are you hit the right note, and you're going to be quite successful at what you're doing. So my advice to you is just keep up the good work, my man. That's all I can say.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's been an honor to be here, man. I really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. And before we play that, anybody you want to shout out or say goodbye or good night to before we get on to this track?
I just want to say hey to the band, and you know, hey guys, check it out. You know, we're on the radio. How cool is that?
It's a good place to be, my man. You know, it's again with me, I'm very choosy about who I put out in front of my audience. Again, when Tangi sent me this music, I was like, yeah, because, you know, it kind of, of course, I'm older than you, but you know, your music kind of took me back to a younger time in my life, you know, that Marshall Tucker band kind of thing. That's why I keep mentioning it, because right after I listened to it, I went and listened to a Marshall Tucker band, heard it in the love song. So.
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's close on out here. Again, we'll be back tomorrow with Keith Eatman. And if you folks want to check out his music, check him out on YouTube. Again, make sure you go and like, share, and subscribe to Alex and the Watchmen over there, and all the great artists that we're going to be presented here on the Music Chronicles. Until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, y'all be safe. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Come on with it. The grace of day costs you absolutely nothing, ladies and gentlemen. Say hello to someone. Might change the way they're thinking, might change the way they're living. You never know. If you walk past them and don't say hello, you might catch a love or the highway.
Every time I see the moonlight in your eyes.
go with back.
Old school. You're listening to CRBJ, Classic R&B Jams Radio.
When the world gets loud, there's one place where the groove never stops. CRBJ Radio brings you classic R&B, timeless soul, and the jams that shape the soundtrack of your life. From sunup to sundown, we're spinning the hits that make you feel something. Every hour, every day. Whether you're at work, on the road, or just vibing at home, turn us on and let the soul take over. Listen live at crbjradiojams.com to the soulful sound all around town.